Alrighty. So it says here that I'm live. I am going to be doing a reading. Um, Now, I want you guys to take some notes. Make sure you have a pen and a paper or some kind of recording device so that you can go back to this episode when you need it. Now, for the sake of this video here, I will be probably moving these to my Anchor, and then you can follow them there. Okay, there's a lot more freedom there on Anchor than there is here. So this is just the introductory episode. Okay, so I will give you all the information as to the podcast and what you can do. You can ask questions on the podcast. It's actually, when we finish with this episode here, I will explain to you how it works and everything, and how you can call in, how a question that you have can be posed on that show. So let's just get into it, shall we? This is going to be part of a series. I'm going to be devoting a good portion of my time here on this. This particular one was highlighted in one of the Zooms that the ladies and I had done. I think it was one of the beginning ones. I think it was the second or the third, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, Kichi, I'm so glad you're here. Let me make sure all my ladies are here. Hold on. Where's Aquaria? Where is she? Because I want her to see this too. Hold on. Oh, nope. Wrong app. Okay, hold on. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah. No. Let's go to, where is she? Okay. All right. That should do it. Alrighty. So I will tell you this much. I was going to record this on my phone, but it heats up too quickly. But I will tell you this much. When I was doing the shuffling of the cards, the High Priestess came out 4 times. 4 times. Once on the bottom of the deck and 3 times in the middle when I was shuffling the deck. So, say what you will about it. Cards don't lie. The cards don't lie. Just saying. Because I was asking, who fits this MO? Who fits this kind of prescription? And the High Priestess kept coming out. Okay. So this is from chapter 10. Okay. And it says here. Now, a lot of you might be asking and wondering, well, Bernie, you're not a karmic. Why do you have such a book in your possession? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I am a firm believer in not only being aware of what the enemy is doing, but to find out what it is they're using so that you can use it against them. Okay. It is all part of the art of war as well. I have that book as well as the 48 laws of power. Okay. So you have to kind of get these kind of books in order to really get into the mind of that karmic, so that you can be not only 1 step ahead, but 20 steps ahead, because we deal with karmics every day of our lives. Okay. Not just here on YouTube, but in our own personal lives with our own personal karmics, collective karmics everywhere. Okay. We deal with these types of people all the time. So this is not something that you're just going to be able to use in dealing with the karmic, but in any kind of person that uses this kind of seductive language. Okay. We see it in politicians all the time. Okay. Actors and actresses do it all the time in their speeches. Okay. So we have to really be aware of how people use the art of words. Okay. So this one here says, and this is to the word witches that might be watching right now. Okay. It says here, because they're saying right here what it is. Use the demonic power of words to sow confusion. Okay. This is what these karmic witches are doing. Using the power, the demonic power of words to sow confusion. Anything that confuses you is not of God. plain and simple. Okay, so you can use that as kind of the gauge to measure everything against. Okay, so it says here, it is hard to make people listen. They are consumed with their own thoughts and desires and have little time for yours. Okay? The trick to making them listen is to say what they want to hear, to fill their ears with whatever is pleasant to them. This is the essence of seductive language. Inflame people's emotions with loaded phrases, flatter them, comfort their insecurities, envelop them in fantasies, sweet words and promises. And not only will they listen to you, they will lose their will to resist you. Now, I already know in my head who fits this bill. And like I said before, 4 times the High Priestess card came out. Okay? I don't have to mention physical names. It says it in the card. Okay? Oh, Kichi, you would this book. Let me tell you, girl, if you want to get into the mind of the karmic to find out how they maneuver and manipulate, this is how they manipulate. When you learn how the enemy manipulates, you can't be manipulated. It's simple mathematics, okay? Itching ears, exactly. Think of who you know that fits this bill here, okay? I did the cards and it said High Priestess 4 times. 4 times, okay? You can't control how the cards are going to go, okay? And the cards don't lie. The cards give no fucks about your feelings, okay? Hey, Aquaria. Okay, so continuing on here. Keep your language vague, letting them read into it what they want. Use writing to stir up fantasies and to create an idealized portrait of yourself. They are I'm going to use a new term here, word weavers. Word weavers. Take a word here, a word here, whatever sounds great and makes them sound very intellectual, and weave it up. Weave it up. Okay, so what are they doing here? Let's break it down piece by piece by piece in this lesson here, okay? First part. It is hard to make people listen. They are consumed with their own thoughts and desires and have little time for yours. What this person does, or people like this person do, is they study what people want. They don't even make an entrance into an arena unless they have studied a long, long time. Okay? They find out what is the hurting of the people. What are people complaining about the most? And then they try to come in like some kind of messiah. It's a messiah complex. A lot of these people that fit this bill have a messiah complex, a God complex. Okay? The trick to making them listen is to say what they want to hear, to fill their ears with whatever is pleasant to them. For example, telling them repeatedly that somebody else is going to get karma. Say it over and over and over again so that they can basically plug themselves into that person. And it's like intravenous, like spiritually intravenous. They constantly feeding it. And then when they're getting that spiritual crack, it's hard to break away from that. Okay? Because that person is telling them everything they want to hear. Okay? Now, this is the essence of seductive language. Inflame people's emotions with loaded phrases. Flatter them. Comfort their insecurities. Envelop them in fantasies, sweet words and promises. And not only will they listen to you, they will lose their will to resist you. Okay? It's saying it right here. And this book also gives examples of people in history that have done this. Okay? So, yes, we have to have our holy books and we have to have but we're waging war here. We also had to have these books for the physical war waging part of this journey. Okay? Keep your language vague, letting them read into it what they want. Use writing to stir up fantasies and to create an idealized portrait of yourself. Okay? So these people are going to self-inflate themselves. They're going to puff out their chest and make themselves more than what they actually are. Okay? The thing is that these people are actresses. Okay? They put on an act. They rehearse it in the mirror. How is this going to sound when I want to convey that I'm connecting to the people? Can I cry on cue? Okay, part of the sympathy spells, if you can cry on cue. Okay, I want you to pay attention. Don't just look at a face on a screen. Pay attention to the body language. Look, okay? Don't just look to look. Investigate, okay? So, let's see if we can break this down a little bit more. They will lose their will to resist you. Before you know it, with this itching ears comes an empty wallet. Okay, because they want to keep this person going. Okay, it's a mutual thing, right? That both entities are getting something from the other. Okay, in order for that battery to stay charged, which is this person that's weaving the word weaving, okay, they need a power source in order to keep recharging. Okay, so it says here, inflame people's emotions with loaded phrases. When they make promises that they can't keep, they have to keep up the ruse. Okay? So they're going to try to soften the blow. Like when they are telling you that somebody's going to get their karma, right? And then here it is, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 10 years, 15 years, and you're still coming back, waiting 15 years later for this person to get the karma that you would promise them 2 weeks ago, right? This is what this is trying to say. Okay? You have to be mindful. Okay? After 5 years of me teaching you guys what these people do, you should be very, very good at detecting this. Okay? So now I want to tell you a story of somebody that actually did this. Okay. It's called seductive oratory, which is a seductive speech. Instead of getting straight to the point, they get into this whole thing, and it's usually narcissistic and it's all about themselves, but they try to use a different pronoun. Okay? You have to pay attention to this, okay? Seductive oratory. On May 13th, 1958, right-wing Frenchmen and their sympathizers in the army seized control of Algeria, which was then a French colony. They had been afraid that France's socialist government would grant Algeria its independence. Now, with Algeria under their control, they threatened to take over all of France. Civil war seemed imminent. At this dire moment, all eyes turned to General Charles de Gaulle, the World War II hero who had played a crucial role in liberating France from the Nazis. For the last 10 years, de Gaulle had stayed away from politics, disgusted with the infighting among the various parties. He remained very popular and was generally seen as the one man who could unite the country. But he was also a conservative, and the right-wingers felt certain that if he came to power, he would support their cause. Days after the May 13 coup, the French government, the Fourth Republic, collapsed, and the parliament called on de Gaulle to help form a new government, the Fifth Republic. He asked for and was granted full powers for 4 months. On June 4th, days after becoming the head of government, de Gaulle flew to Algeria. Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit here because it's a little much to read here, and I'm trying to condense the more important parts of it. So we're going to get into how they use the seductive language, okay? So This is quite... Okay, we're going to get into the interpretation here, okay? It's all about the speech here. Hold on. I'm trying to find the actual speech. Okay, it says here, de Gaulle proceeded to talk of the greatness of France. More cheers. Oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Okay, when he arrived in Algiers, thousands of people filled the city's main plaza. The mood was extremely festive. There were banners, music, and endless chants of Algérie Francais. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The French colonial slogan. Suddenly, de Gaulle appeared on a balcony overlooking the plaza. The crowd went wild. The general, an extremely tall man, raised his arms over his head, and the chanting doubled in volume. The crowd was begging him to join in. Instead, he lowered his arms until silence fell, then opened them wide and slowly intoned in his deep voice, Je vous ai compris. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Okay, my French is a little rusty. I have understood you. Je vous ai compris. I have to learn how to say that. I have understood you. Now, what is it saying here? I have understood you. They use this, they feign relatability, okay? These are people that are not have been in your shoes, okay, but they feign relatability. That's how they get you. That's how they hook you. Oh, this person has had struggle like me. This person has had the same struggles as me. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. No. Let me see the chat here. I think it's mostly itching ears. It makes people feel better if they think someone will get karma, even if they know the reader is lying. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Amanda. So we're going to get into the actual speech here. So he tells the people, and notice the also the arm movements. I am here, like the kind of Messiah complex. I am here. I am your savior, right? Calm down, right? Pay attention to what they do with their arms and their body language as well as the voice and what they're saying with their words. Okay. It says here, I have understood you. There was a moment of quiet, and then, as his words sank in, a deafening roar. He understood them. You see what happens? You know, too many times, these people that do these types of things, the art of seduction, they know what to look for. They know what to look where the people are concerned. What is paining them? What is ailing them? Okay. And when they can get them when they're on a balcony, when they can get them in a crowd, that's a whole source of supply. Don't forget, these people are narcissists. Okay. It's a source of supply, and it's this. They're like a battery, ingesting all of the power. Okay. There's a reason they call it power. Okay. Think of the word power. There's a reason they call it power, because you're siphoning it off from another source. That's why they call it power. Okay. So that was all they needed to hear. You guys get this book. De Gaulle proceeded to talk of the greatness of France. More cheers. He promised there would be new elections, and with those elected representatives, we will see how to do the rest. Yes, a new government, just what the crowd wanted. More cheers. He would find the place for Algeria in the French ensemble. There must be total discipline, without qualification and without conditions. Who could argue with that? He closed with a loud call, Vive la République! Vive la France! The emotional slogan that had been the rallying cry in the fight against the Nazis. Everyone shouted it back. In the next few days, de Gaulle made similar speeches around Algeria to equally delirious crowds. Okay, they lose their fucking shit. Okay, you know, when those people are hungering for change, they look for somebody that has a messiah complex. It's a codependent relationship. Okay. Only after de Gaulle had returned to France did the words of his speeches sink in. Not once had he promised to keep Algeria French. In fact, he had hinted that he might give the Arabs the vote and might grant an amnesty to the Algerian rebels who had been fighting to force the French from the country. Somehow, in the excitement his words had created, the colonists had failed to focus on what they had actually meant. De Gaulle had duped them. And indeed, in the months to come, he worked to grant Algeria its independence, a task he finally accomplished in 1962. Okay, so this is the first episode that we have here on seductive oratory. Okay, so what have we learned here today? We have learned that these people that fit this bill here know how to play to a crowd. Okay, they know how to play to a crowd. Okay, and they only gauge their influence by the number of people that are responding. Okay, if it goes down a number, then they will try to study and see what they can do to change the narrative. Okay, so let's do a reading. Okay, we always finish with a reading here. Let's find out what's going on. Who fits this bill? Who fits this bill? As I said before, I'm going to move this type of content to my Anchor. Okay, so I will give all that information when I'm done uploading the video. Okay, it's anchor.fm/the woke bombshell. Okay, so find me on there. I have some material on there already. So, who fits the bill of this person that's using the art of war with the seductive oratory? Okay. There is a water sign that's doing this as well. Okay. Page of Cups. Okay. This is a very, very young water sign. Okay. This can also be somebody that has water in a less dominant part of their chart as well. Okay. This could be a Cancer rising. Okay. Who fits the bill of the seductive orator? They look on the surface like they are not here to make any waves, but this is the agenda the entire time. They are not here to unite, they are here to divide. Okay? Who fits the bill of the seductive orator? I'm getting a lot of water here. So there's a water sign that's doing this. Okay? Knight of Cups. This is somebody in their 30s. I do feel the pages are anywhere from 18 to about 26, and then from 27 till about 35 or 40 is a knight. Okay, and 40 and up is a king. Okay, that's the way I read it. Okay, Who fits the bill of this seductive orator? Somebody that doesn't have any other obligations as far as a man in their life. Okay, this is the single person's card, by the way. Okay, so this person is definitely by themselves. Okay, they don't have anybody. All right. Who fits? Oh, yep. What did I tell you? This just came out too. And this desire to come on here and try to word weave comes from a heartbreak that they experienced. Okay. They were probably part of a third party situation with this. Okay. Who fits the bill of this seductive orator? It says high priest here, but this could be high priestess as well. Don't get hung up on the gender of the card, okay? So this could be somebody that considers themselves a high priest or a high priestess, okay? Or wants to be looked at as such. I told you that high priestess energy was in there. Alrighty. Who fits the bill of this seductive orator? Somebody with a vengeful spirit. Somebody that always has revenge on their mind. Somebody that's always talking about karma and judgment and, karma befalling people. Meanwhile, they're doing everything they can to try to avert their own karma. Okay? What is the template of somebody that is this seductive orator? Okay. This is somebody that tries to pass themselves off as a, there's a word for it. It's a word starting with P. It escapes me for some reason. Somebody that gives back, that usually makes a lot of donations and everything. But this is somebody that instead of just doing it, they need to talk about how they did it. They want the glory for doing this. Okay, they want to be looked at as some kind of savior. It's a savior complex, okay? What is that word that's bothering me? What is that word? Philanthropist. That's the one. Thank you. Philanthropist. Okay. What is the template of somebody that this one came out? Okay. They seem to have all the answers to these people that are buying what they're saying, hook, line, and sinker. But when they're not in the public eye, when they're not recording, this is what their life is like. Nine of Swords, because it's a guilty conscience. This, to me, is the guilty conscience card. Okay? So sorry about the noise in the background. Mommy is sleeping and she's kind of a snorer. Poor dear. So, to kind of wrap up, when this came out, okay, got a flyer here. Okay. This is a very determined person. Okay. They don't quit very easily. Okay. You got to ask what drives this person, though. Okay. Like literally, what drives this person? What is their modus operandi? Okay. So, final card, because we're at 30 minutes here. What is the template of somebody that is in the seductive orator energy? This one wants to come out. Okay. Alrighty. They think of themselves as the truth and that there is no truth like their truth. They start in, when they first come onto the scene, they look meek, they look quiet. But as time goes on, if you question anything that they're saying, they become very cutting with their words. But notice this. This is what they've been after the entire time. Complete dominion. Domination. Okay? All right, guys. So this is all I have for you guys. Now, as I said before, I'm going to be doing the other episodes on my Anchor. I haven't figured out when during the week I'm going to do them because I do want to be consistent with it. Okay, because I feel this is going to be very helpful. I'm thinking Wednesdays. It could be right in the middle of the week if that works for you guys. Other than that, this is all I have for you. I might do another reading. I haven't decided yet, but let's see how I feel energetically after that. But this is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm also on TikTok at The Woke Bombshell. Be sure to follow me on my Anchor podcast at anchor.fm/The Woke Bombshell. All right. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon.